So Ted, I appreciate you joining us today. And first of all, I just wanted to, for those of all who don't know all that about CHEMEON, tell us a little bit about CHEMEON and all that you offer to the finishing industry.
Well, thanks, Tim, and it's a pleasure to be on the podcast. And thanks for all of the information that you provide the metal finishing industry around the world. We certainly appreciate that. So CHEMEON has become a global leader in conversion coatings that replace the known carcinogen hexavalent chrome. We are the safe alternative of trivalent chromes. We also have some zero chromes as well. And the services that we offer were based upon a need that had come from the Department of Defense, not only because of hexavalent chrome being used for 80 plus years as a great corrosion protection, but it's a carcinogen. And CHEMEON was actually the first to commercialize and develop a Navy patent called TCP, trivalent chrome pretreatment. And from that, it's a clear trivalent and has been an industry standard that's been used since the early 2000s. Our Dr. Sean Westry was actually the first to commercialize that technology. But there was always this need for the industry to have a colorized trivalent. And the reason for that is twofold. Because for 70 plus years, in talking about hexavalent chrome, there's this yellow gold hue of hexavalent chrome. And that was this signature color that an applicator, who may not be a scientist, they're just an artisan working on a line, creating their product, it allowed them to see that that part was completely coated and then ultimately sent the signal that it was protected. So we have been working on, for a number of years, the development of what is described as an enhanced TCP. And we patented eTCP. It's our signature purple violet color. In fact, we certainly appreciate over the years you've talked about the technology and the evolution of the technology that had come from different projects with the Navy. So our eTCP is this colorized trivalent that has superior performance on existing trivalents, but also provides this signature CHEMEON purple violet color. I think that was the wipe kit that we were talking about that actually just hit the floor
being talked about. Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I think this will actually show that the wipe kit that we're going to be talking about has amazing durability because it landed perfectly. So we'll talk about that in a second.
You know, something that's fun.
eTCP.
I was going to say, you know, it's interesting. I've talked to people in the industry for years, and I made a joke to someone a while back, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, about, you know, there's not much new technology comes in the industry, and we were talking about that, but it's funny because then they mentioned your product and said, well, that's a pretty new product. That's a pretty revolutionary product that's come across. It fits a lot of needs, and like I said, especially that visual confirmation that's there, right? It's something. And again, when you've got the minds of the military, and I know they've got you know, with a lot of the people involved in that, there are a lot of smart people that put their minds together to make this thing work.
Well, you know, the other thing, and that's a great point that you bring up, because when you have something that's on the skin of aircraft or on vehicles that are at the front lines of protecting warfighters, if something has worked, like hexavalent chrome, you really don't want to switch off.
Don't want to change,
until you find something that really works. Trivalent chrome works. It is described as a Type 2 coating for this MIL-DTL 81706 and then 5541. But the main thing is, for the people who are the applicators who are applying this coating, it's important that they're protected. And then for the people who are removing the coating, when you are touching it up or doing certain things like we'll be talking about with this white kit, it's so important that they are protected. And what CHEMEON provides is a one-step solution. And that is, you know, one of the key differentiators, the colorization, the performance on 2024, the technical service of where you're actually getting in touch with the inventors of the technology itself, and the relationship, right, that we've rolled out over over the last 11 years that we have developed on an international basis. Just recently, in fact, it was an article that that you covered. It was a wonderful piece from the team over at the Army Missile Command, and they have adopted and recommended eTCP for use for touch-up and repair globally to all of their depots and bases around the world, specifically tied to Sikorsky, Black Hawk helicopters with Lockheed Martin Apache. So it's a really wonderful relationship that we've developed with the DoD, but that extends to industry as well.
Gotcha.
So thank you for asking.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the CHEMEON touch-up repair kit, because unique product that you've got.
Reaching for
it there. Tell me a little bit about what this product does, and why is it needed? Where is it used at?
So whether it is a field repair, and when you think about the harsh environments that helicopters and vehicles too. When you think of Humvees, and you've seen them in the sand or by the shore in salt air, or helicopters floating over saltwater with rescues or missions that occur, that is some harsh environments that's affecting the actual metal, the aluminum substrates of these vehicles. So what is needed is not necessarily a complete refurbishment of the entire vehicle, but that vehicle needs to be touched up, because if there are nicks, if there is wear, if there is galvanic corrosion that could occur, that needs to be repaired so that the structural integrity and that life cycle of that asset is maintained. And that's where these touch-up kits that we've designed, which are actually stemmed from the success that we've had with these eTCP and TCPHF and cleaner touch-up pens that we've created and have been used by the military and DoD and industry. So whether it's a material repair and maintenance repair, or overhaul facility, an MRO, or field repair, this is where these touch-up pens and this touch-up kit that we moved to these wipes and brush applications, which are Method B applications under the MIL-DTL. This is where the desire and need for this compact, self-contained kit we have found has been an unmet need of the industry that we have filled.
Right. Yeah. Nice to have it with that. Yeah, definitely. And so, as I was watching some video and some literature you've got, it seems like it's fairly, I don't want to say easy, but it's fairly simple to follow the directions to get it to work. Is that correct?
Correct. And, one thing that we've done over the years is we've really tried to make sure that there was tutorial videos that would walk every person, so they didn't necessarily have to be a material engineer or a scientist or a chemist, but a person who is an artisan on the line working with these parts, making sure that they're protected and making sure that these mission critical parts are coded properly. That's one of the things that our videos have really been heralded as a great asset to these artists.
They really do illustrate that point, that, like you said, it doesn't need to be whatever whether it's a airplane or a tank or even it doesn't need to be shipped back to somewhere. They can pretty much, it is a field kit, right? It can be pretty much somebody that can just look at some directions and steps and follow it, and it's pretty simple with that. I think there's maybe 4 or 5 steps. Is that right? Is that
there's a number of pieces in the application itself. In fact, we have a little video for it, but we also have the kit itself here, which is and it's the Surface Touch-Up Repair Kit, and inside we have the directions and the instructions, but it contains not only isopropyl alcohol wipes that are used as the solvent to clean the material. Then there is also Scotch-Brite 7447. It's the maroon Scotch-Brite 7447 that is used to prepare the surface itself. Then there is a return to the IPA wipes to remove the oxide powder from the layer that was removed by the Scotch-Brite. And we have the nitrile gloves that certainly go with it, and the actual eTCP concentration that is used for the dry wipes that are used. There's also a brush application, because brush and wipe are both method B applications. So
gotcha. Right. Yeah.
That was my
going to be one of the questions was, you know, what are the different ways that, or how can people, the different ways they can purchase this product? How can they obtain that?
They can get it through CHEMEON directly. In 2026, we are going to be making it available, because one of the interesting things, this was developed actually with a project for the Marines. And CHEMEON has had a great relationship working with the Navy, the Air Force, the Army that we were just talking about, and the Marines. And this was developed in conjunction to solve a need that the Marines identified. And now it's been being used throughout the DoD. But we've also found that there is a great need for this in the general aviation market. And the general aviation market are the individuals who own planes, or the planes that are the fleets that are rented out. So it could be a Cessna, it could be any type of plane like that. And the compact nature of the kit makes it so self-contained for the general aviation market. So in 2026, besides being available directly from CHEMEON at CHEMEON.com, it's going to be available for the general aviation market in general aviation sites as well. So rather than buying the individual pieces, it's the entire self-contained kit. It could fit under their seat, in their storage areas, in the repair storage areas. And it's become a valuable asset to a number of different industries. And it's also for land vehicles too.
Right. With that. Yeah. Pretty ingenious. Like I said, you think about that, something leaves the manufacturing process and goes out there. It's going to get nicked up. It's going to get, and like I said, these things that we're talking about are probably going to be around some of the most harshest environments. Like I said, sand, dirt, and they're going 24/7. This isn't like a car you would park in a garage overnight or anything. These vehicles, these aircraft are going all the time, and they're being maintained with that. And sounds like a wonderful product that kind of met a need that people needed for a long time, it seems like.
Yeah. And the other point that you bring up is that when these vehicles are in use, they are being used extremely vigorously. But when they're sitting as well, that causes damage too, because they could be sitting in sea air. They could be sitting, they could be wrapped, and there could be potential mold issues that occur to the surface and to the interior. There could also be sea air, sand, all of these different issues that attack the surface and compromise the asset itself. So that's why something like this is definitely a great addition to the maintenance, repair, and the field repair of vehicles. And we have some really interesting other applications and things from an innovation standpoint, because you're right, innovation does not come along often, especially when corrosion protection is so key and so important to maintain the consistent things that work. But what we have on the horizon are pretty exciting too for 2026. And hopefully there's an opportunity to share that with you as well.